Welcome back, and joining me for a further look into the equity space is Annatjie Van Rooyen from My Wealth Investments. Thank you so much for your time, Annatjie, and I will say Happy New Year for the last time this year to someone. So a very Happy New Year to you. Annatjie, let's take a look at the markets. It's been seeming like for most of the week the markets have been in a rather positive space, particularly the gains that we've seen on the JSE, and also now the Rand back at the 1870s against the US dollar. Is this somewhat encouraging?
Hello, Zanati. Thank you for having me, and all the best for 2025 to you too. And that's also the last time I'm staying this year. Yes, we're seeing a very positive overall performance on our markets today, and we're seeing a very nice recovery in the Rand-dollar exchange rate. So this, of course, bodes very well for investor sentiment towards emerging markets. We have also seen several positive factors plus positive announcements. Very importantly is the Chinese GDP number, which came in at 5.4% for the fourth quarter, and this represents an acceleration from 4.6% in the third quarter. So this performance has been driven by exports. Unfortunately, the property sector still remains weak, and domestic demand still remains weak. So there's still an imbalance between domestic production and domestic demand, but we are starting to see green shoots. So the total GDP for 2024 came in at 5% compared to 5.2% in 2023. So they have reached the growth target, but unfortunately that growth target can be derailed by increased tariffs from the US when President Trump takes office next week. So the Chinese economy is still facing a major headwind when the new policies are implemented in the US. The other positive news that we've seen is a ceasefire that will be signed later today between Israel and Hamas. So there's a major de-escalation in geopolitical tension in the Middle East. This is very, very positive news. Also bodes well for the oil price. And then the construction sector in South Africa back on the radar screen for international investors. Our government has announced that they are planning to allocate 200 billion to public works projects. And this strategy aligns with the objective to get South Africa back on the economic recovery path. Then lastly, an announcement was made that Glencore and Rio Tinto have had a discussion.
Yeah.
Nothing full, no regulatory statements released, but this is a very nice underpin for mining stocks, and especially the ones with exposure to quality copper assets.
Let's actually go into that, because a lot of us hadn't really moved in from a potential merger between a BHP and Anglo American, and now all of a sudden we have these early stage talks or reports of early stage talks between Glencore and Rio Tinto. What could this mean for Glencore as investors on the JSE, but I guess also just the broader mining industry?
Look, it will be very positive for the mining industry as a whole, and you would look at a combined market cap of 155 billion US dollars if the deal should go through. That means that they will have a larger market cap than BHP Billiton. And of course, this will also bring Anglo's back into the spotlight with its quality copper assets, because clearly Rio Tinto is after the quality copper assets in the Glencore stable.
Well, Annatjie, another interesting thing that we saw today, and a lot of our investors, I'm sure, are very happy because they've been trying to figure out if they should leave Sasol completely or buy more. I remember at some point I thought of buying it at 92 Rand, but I don't know if I've missed the boat here, because that share is up 11% today. What is going on? Because there's no sense that we're seeing.
Yes, I also, at first I thought maybe they're going to come out with a very positive production update next week, but there is a report on Bloomberg that the company has announced they are looking at a possible listing of the chemicals unit. So if a successful spin-off of that business, and especially if it can be listed separately, it will be such a fantastic value unlock for investors. So that will definitely leave the company with plenty of upside still in that share price, because it's trading at such a low level. So I'm so happy that the management of the company has identified this opportunity the unlocked value for shareholders.
All right. Well, before we get to your stock pick, Annatjie, let's go into Merafe Resources. They came out with a production report for the last quarter, for the quarter ended December and also for the year, reporting there a marginal increase year on year on ferrochrome production, but seeming that there was a dip in the fourth quarter. Just talk to me about how you gauge these numbers.
I think it's something that we'll continue to see going forward, and this is purely on the back of a more stable operating environment that is being offered by South Africa as we see stable electricity production. So I think we're starting to see the green shoots in the commodity space right now. Maybe China is not there just yet in terms of demand, but I do think that the green shoots are starting to come through. Of course, everything will depend on the policies implemented by the Trump administration, because we can expect to see volatility in inflation expectations going forward.
All right. Well, Annatjie, talking about green shoots, let's get to your stock pick for today.
I was going to pick Sasol, but I didn't. So I chose MTN, but I'm still happy to go with MTN because MTN also does well when there's positive news around the oil price, which there currently is. Hopefully demand from China can increase. But the main reason why I pick MTN is because I'm expecting broker upgrades and earnings upgrades for the company. And this is on the back of the USSD platform revenues that will be backpaid by the banks in Nigeria, and also the revenue that will be received from those platforms going forward, but also the possibility of 100% tariff hikes in Nigeria will bode very well for the revenue going into the bank for MTN. So, and also on a forward PE of 9 point something, I do think the counter offers great value at these levels.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Annatjie, really giving us insights on what has moved investors' money today and this week. That was My Wealth Investments' Annatjie Van Rooyen.